everybody. Javi, a good day. Welcome back. How's everybody doing? I hope you had a good 4th of July. This happens to be recorded on the 6th of July. I had a good weekend. I'm looking forward to the week coming up. I want to say hi to a friend of mine who I ran into the other day at one of the stores that I frequent looking for skincare. And hi, Nada. I'm happy to see you. Well, I've gotten a few messages from people telling me, Javier, I saw your video, and so tell me, Javi, what's going on? What is it that you've used? What's going on? And I'm sort of dragging my feet, and I really apologize for that. And the reason for that is because I'm trying to see if I can put stuff down in writing, because when I do my videos, even though they seem to be like off the cuff and I'm just rambling around, I try to put everything down in writing. And I try to see if I can follow a certain sequence of things. I'm going to say probably 8 out of 10 times, that's the theory. And then all of a sudden, I forget the script and I keep on going and I start talking from the heart and from what I know. So, my idea was I was going to do something like 8 to 10 or maybe 12 episodes of my podcast on skincare. And I was going to focus, and I'm still going to be focusing on different elements that you use for skincare, whether they're US, Korean, Japanese, French, English, Indian as well. And I'm going to be talking about some products from India that I think are going to be up and coming here in the United States eventually. And people are going to be like smirking probably and saying, India, really? Well, think about it. 10 years ago, would we be talking about Korean and Japanese, skincare the way we are? I think that's something that I think for a long time we were US focused or maybe European focused or French focused on any products for skin. And that's kind of been turned on its head. And people now look at the Koreans and the Japanese for inspiration or for guidance as far as skincare is. And I'm going to say that's still true. That has not changed. But I think there are going to be new players that are coming up. Australia, New Zealand, India, South Africa are going to be some of the places that I think in the future we're going to be looking at for not just skincare, but for health and medicinal reasons. A lot of the products that we use, whether it is skincare or it's supplements, there are elements that over the years we've been gravitating away from chemical compounds to natural elements that are out there. Years ago, who would have thought of something called marula? Marula is something that is grown in Africa, and the people of that continent have realize that it does have medicinal benefits to us. Years ago, and I'm probably going to be seeing things popping up from South America concerning acai. And we have known about acai being an antioxidant and one of the most powerful ones. So far, I haven't run across anything, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be coming down the road. As far as ingesting it, probably for skincare as well. Centinella asiatica is something that's being used in a lot of Korean and Japanese brands. Heartleaf is another one. Green tea. Korea has come out with several products in Korea, especially products that are grown in Jeju, which is an island off the coast of Korea between Korea and Japan. And several of the products or produce that's farmed there has come up in skincare. Oranges, clementines, and even onions. And that's in, I think it's in isn't tree or isn't free, one of the two, for skincare. And no, it doesn't smell like onions, but it's supposed to be really good and nourishing for the skin. Beets have been used in Asia for skincare and not for color. So today's episode, I'm going to run through some of the items that I've used for skincare. And again, talking about what I was planning on doing. And I was planning on going week by week by week by week and going from one station to the other. I was going to go from cleansers and discussing cream cleansers, oil cleansers, surfactants, cleansers that are gentle for dry skin, for sensitive skin, for oily skin, cleansers that would deal with sebum and blackheads. And then I was going to move on to the next thing, which was going to be toners. And then I would go into serums and ampules. And then I would go into moisturizers and sunscreens. And I had a discussion with a friend of mine last night at dinner. We were at a lovely restaurant. That would be Karina from Karina Foliani, who does, and if you haven't seen her, check out Karina Foliani. And she does lifestyle, she does fashion, she does skincare. So check her out. And I was saying, Karina, you know what? I was going to start with cleansers and go through this myriad of stuff, of items that I've used over the last 2 years and that have brought my skin to a point that it looks a lot better than it was. And as always, I say, I'm not looking to look younger. I'm looking to look better. I'm looking to look my age, but I'm looking to look better and not dry and wrinkled and crepey and, you know, serious lines that are showing up here and there. My lines are a badge. They're a badge of me still being here today. And I'm good with that. But I don't want to look, let's say, 60 plus. I want to look 60-ish and gracefully, if that makes any sense to anybody. I want to look my age, but I want to look, in my eyes, presentable in my eyes. So I flipped the script, and the idea today was for me to start with cleansers and say, hey guys, these are some of the things that I've used that I've recommended. I'm going to try to keep away from items that I've used that I don't recommend. I'm just trying to be as positive as I can for items that I've used that I think worked for me. And again, the main point is it worked for me. It may not work for you. Your skin may be different than mine. And what I want to bring to everybody's attention is always remember, whenever you're trying anything, whether it's a serum, an ampule, a toner, a moisturizer, try it first, let's say on your arm or your hand, and see how your arm, your hand reacts to it before you put it on your face. Give it 24 hours. See what it looks like afterwards. And then go ahead. Now, if you have sensitive skin and you're buying a product for sensitive skin, then I would say, well, maybe you can skip that point because apparently this product is for your skin type. If you have oily skin, look for items that are going to be in that realm. Maybe in the future, I'll be discussing that. My skin has changed over the years. So I think when I was very young, it was oily. I think in my midlife, I had a T-zone. So oily here and dry here. And now I'm going to say my skin is basically all dry. So I'm looking for items that are going to moisturize my skin, and things that are going to help me retain hydration. I'm going to bring this out and say it right now, and I may say this again. If you look for items that have collagen, and that cream, that ointment says collagen on it, run, don't walk, run away from it. These are key words sometimes that are tossed out for people. And collagen is a molecule that cannot be penetrated into the skin. If you want to have more collagen in the skin, there are things like, let's say, retinol or vitamin C or niacinamide that you can take that'll help your skin perhaps activate and create its own collagen. Try to take your collagen orally and see if that helps you. So the collagen in creams that are out there, again, keyword collagen, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, it won't get in your skin. It just won't. The molecule's too big to be absorbed into the skin. The one thing that collagen will do in a cream or an ointment or a serum or something is basically it'll create a barrier so that you look a little bit more dewier, you look a little bit more hydrated, and that's what collagen on your skin will do. All right. Anyway, I've talked enough about where I'm going. So again, I flipped the script, and the script's going to be, I'm going to go from back to forward. And the last item that you would, or I would put on my skin for the day before I go out is going to be a sunscreen. And the reason I flipped the screen is because we're in summer. And though I would say you should always use a sunscreen, whether it's winter or summer, because you're always going to be exposed to the sun when you go out, this time of the year, you're going to be using probably more sunscreen to protect your skin from UVA and UVB. UVA would be the rays that would attack your skin and age you. And just use UVA for that thought. And UVB is the rays that are going to hit you and cause you to burn if you're exposed for a long period of time. So these are some of the products that I've used over the last 2 years that I've used. And the reason I will switch back and forth between one and the other is basically I'm one of those people that is always looking for a deal. And if anybody out there really knows me, I'm always looking for a deal. I will pinch a penny until it screams. Some of the places that I go to, and this is what happened to me last night, I ran into somebody who I know, again, Nilda, and I was at Marshall's. So I try to avoid some of the retailers that will sell products and they will cost you a higher price. I go to places like Marshall's. I go to TJ Maxx. I will go to Ross. I will go to, surprisingly enough, I'll go to bin stores. That one I'll talk about in a second. I will go to places like BJ's and Costco's and see what items are there and what's the best price I can get. I will go online. I will go to eBay. I will go to Amazon. I will go to... If anybody's tried Whatnot, try Whatnot. It's an app that you can download on your phone, and it's basically a marketplace you can go onto. And different vendors are selling different things. With regards to Whatnot, hopefully the retailers there will do, before they sell an item, the same thing I do when I go to a bin store. And for those of you who don't know bin stores are places that will sell returned items that have been returned either to places like Target, Walmart, Amazon, that people have returned back. So my point when I go to a bin store and I'm looking at their skincare products is, first I look to see whether or not on the box or on whatever the item is, there's an expiration date. What's the expiration date? Check that out. See, do I have 3, 6, 9 months or more before the product is expired. Once a product is open, for those of you out there who have items that you've had for a year or more and you've opened it up and it's been open for more than a year or more, I would question the efficiency of that product because it will deteriorate with time with exposure to oxygen. The second thing I look for is I look for an item at a bin store that is sealed. If it's sealed and the expiration is, let's say, 6 months or more down the road, and depending on the price, I would consider buying it. So always look for a deal. I always say, try not to pay retail if you can. Try to avoid it. Look for the best deal possible. So if I can, afford to buy, let's say, a serum today if I go to one of the major stores, or if I go to a bin store, if I go to WhatsApp, or I go to Target or Walmart or wherever, and I can perhaps get a serum and an ampule, no brainer. Let me get the 2 items, because I will have a regimen where I layer everything on top of something else. I'll have a morning routine and a night routine. So let me move on, and I'm going to make this probably a 2 or 3 parter on sunscreens alone. These are some of the products that I've used over the last 2 years. Right now, I'm going to say I'm dividing this up right now into Korean, American, and European. And I have one that I'm adding towards the end, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I wanted to say no to it, but I decided I wanted to experiment and see if I would like it. And I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised. All right, so my first item that I like, and I'm going to say this is probably one of my favorites right now, and I'm all out of it. It's called Purito, and this is 50 mils. No, it's 60 mils. It's 60 mils, and it runs for about $20. I think I picked this up on eBay for probably $15. So this one, and I don't think I have anything left on it, but I like the way there's a little bit left. So it's no white cast, it is no flashback, and it's just like almost a cream, like a milky cream, but it's very light. And I like the way it leaves my skin feel. So this is Purito, and I like this one a lot. You can find this on Amazon. You can find this on these websites: Yes Style, Korean Style, Olive Young, and you can get that. Oh, main thing about these items, they have a sun blocking mechanism in it that is yet not approved in the United States or Europe, I think. So I think for a short period of time you were able to get this through Amazon, and you still might be, but from what I've heard is Amazon, because it's a US retailer and it does have vendors that are outside of the country, these items cannot be sold in the United States necessarily as a sunscreen, but you can go through, let's say, Amazon if the retailer is in Korea. And it'll take you, not in Amazon, 2 or 3 days. This will probably take you, if it's coming straight from Korea, it'll take you about 10 days to get. Some of the retailers are trying to get around it, and by basically having a warehouse in the United States and basically shipping directly to us. If I understand correctly, that may be changing in the future. So you're looking at 10 days, but you can go straight to Yes Style, Olive Young, and Korean Style and Stylevana. Those are the 4 websites: Stylevana, Yes Style, Korean Style, and Olive Young. Good websites to go to, and they will normally have deals on stuff. Again, a week, 10 days to get. Next item would be Beauty of Joseon, also out of Korea. It's a really good sunscreen. I like it. My body enjoys it. My skin enjoys it. I would highly recommend that one as well. Next one, also Korean, is Isn't-Free, and also very gentle. These 3 are not US recommended because they don't follow the regulations. The mechanisms that they use to block the sun has not been approved in the United States, but it is approved in Japan, it is approved in Korea, and it's approved, I guess, in places like the Philippines and Thailand, and it's sold there. So each country has their own regulations to follow. I think the buzz is that the United States will probably start looking into these new mechanisms and apply those. I'm going to try to see if I can go through these quickly. So I'm going to American products. This is Alban Botanicals. Very good. Very good light cream. I do like this. It has aloe vera in it. The other ones that I showed, I think they're all with Centella asiatica as the botanical product that they have in them. Beauty of Joseon, under $20, I believe. Isn't free, about $20. I want to say I got this for probably $10 or $12 at Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Paula's Choice. American product, very good cream. A little pricier. It's a mineral product, but the formulation's a little bit different in that, though it's a mineral product, it's kind of invisible to a degree, and it rubs in very nicely so that there is no white cast, but there might be a slight flashback, which is that shininess that you're going to be seeing on the camera or on your screen. Another product that I kind of like is, this is the Ultra Repair by First Aid. And this one I kind of like very much. It's the Ultra Repair Moisturizing Face Moisturizer, rather. Really good, like this. Also somewhere around the $20 mark. Those are my three at the moment American products that I kind of like out there. There's also Sunbum. Surprisingly enough, I like Sunbum. Surprisingly enough, some of these products come out with different variations of each other. So there might be, like this one, I think comes out in at least 8 different versions. There's a 15, there's a 30, there's a 50, there's a 50 for sensitive skin, there is a 50 for kids, there's a 50 for babies. And why there's a difference between kids and babies, I have no idea. But you know what? That's one thought that I've had also is, if there's something for kids, why can't I put it on my skin? It's for sensitive skin, apparently. So let me try that as well. That being said, Europeans. There is, and I don't have a picture of it right now, but I'll put a picture of it up here somewhere. And that is Isden, I-S-D-I-N, Isden, and it's out of Spain. It's a really good moisturizer sunscreen, like it. The king of the castle when it comes to your European skincare, moisturizers, sunscreens. I think there's really no doubt, at least on this side of the Atlantic, as to who would be top of the roost, and it would be this. It would be La Roche-Posay. That would be one of the bigger brands that are going to be out there. So you can try La Roche-Posay. This is 60 Antium. It's very creamy. It's like a heavy milk cream consistency, and it blends right into the skin. As I mentioned, each of these have their own variations within their own brand. So you may have something in Roche-Posay that heavy mineral and will have a white cast, to the one that I just showed you that's no white cast, to something that they have that's a little bit more liquidy and has a tint or doesn't have a tint, and this is a 50 sun protection. For those of you out there, something that blew my mind was the idea of, well, higher the SPF, the more potent, the more strong, the more this, the more that. And it's kind of funny that a 30 and a 50 SPF, European or American terminology, it's kind of like you have 97% protection in a 30, where you have probably a 99% protection on a 60. Of course, the numbers are higher, but we're talking about 2% difference. The time also might be different. It might be something like, 3-hour protection versus 4-hour protection. I'm thinking originally when I looked at all this stuff that it's going to be a 30 to a 60. Well, that's double the number. So it's going to be like, 3 hours, 6 hours. Not necessarily. And 30% out of 100, well, that's not the ratings that they use. I still want to figure out how they came up with these numbers. I don't know, it's crazy. So those are some of the ones that I recommend right now. And if you get a chance, try those out. I really like the Korean brands. And again, Isn't Free, Beauty of Joseon, or Purito. If you want to try the American brands, I'm going to say really Alba Botanical I really like. And for Europeans, I'm going to say La Roche-Posay. Yeah, La Roche-Posay. Now, here's the one that I'm going to mention that I'm kind of like in shock about. There are so many skincare products that are out there that are from influencers and celebrities. Who did I see came out with a product the other day that I was like, what? Oh, Jessie from Desperate Housewives just came out with a skincare line for men. And my thought was, really? Okay, how long has he been involved in skincare or looked into getting into skincare? Kudos to him. Don't get me wrong. Kudos to him. But it just seems like Madonna's done it. All the Kardashians basically have been doing it. Hilton has done it. There's quite a few. This is where I wish I had my notes so I can go through the whole list of people. Well, here's one that I'm a little bit taken aback because I'm like, this stuff is pretty decent. It's pretty good. And so far, I think has gotten quite a few reviews. Some of you are going to be like, what? And some of you are going to be like, not surprised. Because it's gotten a lot of hoopla over the last couple of years. And that would be Fenty Skincare by Rihanna. And Miss Rihanna has done really well for herself. This happens to be the sunscreen. It has a very light tint to it, if you can see that. But it fades right into the skin very nicely. It's very creamy. So very hydrating, so when you're out in the sun. And I like it. I do like this. It's a little costlier. And of course, somebody would say, but you're worth it. Well, again, follow my philosophy if you can, or if you want to. Look for a deal. I ran into this sucker at a Marshall's. And it was like half the retail price. So if you can go around and shop around, look and see what you find, because you can be surprised sometimes. I tend to go to 1 or 2 Marshalls a week, and I go in and I look for 10, 15 minutes, and if I see stuff that is worth my while, I'll pick it up and I'll try it. Again, this journey has taken me from point A to point B with my skincare. Not to steer everybody incorrectly, because you're going to be looking at a prior video and looking at my face and seeing what's going on. One of the things that you're going to notice is that my marionette lines have popped out somewhat. Well, that's also part of what I've been doing in the last couple of years, and I've been on a diet study. And so I've been on a semi-glutide for over a year and a half, and I've lost 125 pounds. For those of you who went through whatever you went through during COVID, isolated, miserable, upset, angry, hostile, the whole gamut, I ended up gaining something like 45 pounds during that period. And I was the biggest I've ever been and the most unhappy I've ever been, with lots of things. And fortunately, I've turned a corner. I'm going to say we're in 2025, somewhere around 2022, the end of 2022. And I started working in 23 on my diet. I started working on dental work. And then skincare was the next thing. Plus, I go to the gym now about at least 3 times a week, which I'm headed to right after doing this video. I now take supplements, so I take a multivitamin, I take collagen, I take turmeric for my joints, I take a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic. So I take about 7 pills, if not more, a day to keep this body going. So again, Javi-A Good day. Don't forget, this is a very long video. It's probably my longest video so far. But don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and I love you folks. I appreciate you guys being here. I get some really nice comments from you guys, and I appreciate it very much. So please like, subscribe, comment, give me suggestions, give me ideas about what I can do to bring more attention to different things for different people that you're curious about. If I can do it, I'll let you know. If I can't do it, I'll let you know. There is no BS here. It is what it is. I'm on a journey, and I think we all are. And so sometimes there are forks in the road, sometimes they convene together, sometimes they totally deviate. So if I can bring information to you, it makes me happy. If you bring information to me, it'll make me happy. So again, Javi, a good day. Have a wonderful week. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to someone else. Take care.